Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea, and today I'm going to be talking all about Bellamy hair. I have been a huge fan of Bellamy for the past 7 years now, and my first set of extensions my dad had gifted me in my first year of university. They lasted my entire 5 years. They were the 24-inch beach blonde, and I fell completely in love when I received these extensions. Keep in mind, I was also used to wearing the eBay kind. Making the transformation from eBay hair extensions throughout my entire high school career and switching over to Bellamy was quite possibly the biggest game changer ever. So today I'm going to be talking to you about all of the Bellamy pieces I have. I have the 18-inch, the 24-inch, and the 26-inch in the silk seam collection, as well as the 6-in-1 curler and the deep waver as well. I'm also going to be talking to you about their human hair wrap ponytails and their carrying cases. And as always, I'll be providing my discount code with you guys at the end of this video, so if you're interested, keep watching. So the first set that I want to show you is the 18-inch Picolinas. I am wearing the shade Platinum Blonde in all of these extensions. I did custom tone them just by washing them with a purple shampoo bath, and I always recommend doing this before dipping into toners simply because you are preserving the quality of the hair. Another thing that I'd really like to mention is that a lot of people say to not wash your hair extensions or don't use heat on them, etc, etc. And the truth is the key to having your extensions last long is treat them as if they were your real hair. When I wear my extensions more frequently and am placing a lot of heat on them, especially for photo shoots or when I'm on set for film, I am constantly having different hairstylists touch my hair extensions, and I want to make sure that I treat them in the best care possible. So I always recommend washing them every so often. You don't have to overwash, but you also don't want to underwash, because if you're using products in your hair and in your extensions, that is going to cause a lot of buildup. So I recommend also doing a nourishing hair mask. People say to stay away from conditioners and hair masks, but the truth is that it's still going to nourish the hair because it is human hair. And like I said, my first set of Bellamy extensions were the 24-inch lace weft, and they lasted me an entire 5 years. And I can truly say that is because of the care that I treated them with. And when it was time for me to sell them and switch to a newer shade, I was still able to sell them for the value that they were worth, because people recognize Bellamy as high quality. And I'm going to show you their carrying cases, which I believe is one of the key elements to preserving your hair extension health and extending the quality as long as possible. So they do have two different color options. There is the rose gold and the white. In comparison to other hair extension brands that do offer carrying cases, the thing with Bellamy is that they are designed by hair professionals, and essentially what I want to point out is that they really feel, they're not, but they feel as if they're waterproof. So if you get a spill on this area or on the back, you can simply wipe that off, whereas other brands tend to carry cloth cases and they just don't have the same detail, like the rose gold or the stainless steel hardware on the other one. Very, very easy to zip open and close. I like to always carry a claw clip with me and some spare clips just in case. So everything fits, and I really like that they are just one flat piece, because other competitors tend to have them that fold up and then it ends up leaving a dent in your extensions. So when you're packing your extensions for travel, I always ensure to lay this case flat, and as soon as I get to my destination or if I'm on set, I like to hang them up immediately. They are quite long, so it allows for the longer extension pieces to sit nicely here at the bottom. And overall, for the price you're paying, I believe that this is a beneficial piece to have if you have a hair extension collection like me. As I mentioned, I am wearing the 18-inch at the moment. What I really like about these is that they are very, very lightweight. They offer a seamless blend and just a little bit of volume and length. My natural hair is about up to here, It does take me a very long time to grow out my hair because I am a natural blonde, so my hair is very, very thin and fine, and I've always had an issue growing it out. So I am very thankful for the Bellamy clip-in extensions because it allows me to add length and volume without adding any damage that other forms of extensions or brands might add to my hair. Another thing that you will see with Bellamy hair extensions is that they do have non-slip grip clips, meaning that when you open them up like this, there will be a little silicone barrier right here so that once you clip them into your hair, they are not going anywhere. And this is something that is so crucial when you're purchasing hair extensions because you really don't want to be styling your hair and having them come out while you're brushing them or curling them or whatever you may be doing. So that is something that Bellamy has to offer when you're purchasing their clip-in extensions. I will be showing you the different lengths in comparison. The 18 inches, my biggest question is what is the difference between 24 inch and 26 inch? Bellamy just came out with the 26s and I could not be happier because the longer the better. I think I have about 4 of these Bellamy carrying cases because I just like to be over prepared. When looking at the silk seam, a way I like to describe them is that they are similar to a tape-in extension. It is a very thin weft and it sits very flat onto your head and they are a barely there feeling. In comparison to the lace weft here, I have always preferred the lace weft, to be honest, simply because I find they do add that little bit of bulge and a little bit of extra volume at the top of your head because they're not sitting very, very flat. So when looking at the two, you could see that the 26 inches are a little bit thicker than the 24s, and I will be putting these in to show you guys, but just in comparison, if these were clipped in, this is where they would sit. So there is a 2-inch difference. When they're on me, the 24s sit just above my hips and the 26s go a little past my bum. I do stand at 5'3", and this is what they would look like on me in comparison to the 18-inch. Something else that I really, really love about Bellamy, I sort of touched upon this earlier, was that they are very easy to tone with a purple shampoo bath. You can see here when I show you that they have toned completely even. There is no patchiness, there are no dark spots, there is no purple tone sitting up by the wefts. That is a very big issue, unfortunately, when purchasing hair extensions and toning them, is that there is a risk of them going patchy, but not with Bellamy. Another point that I'd like to make is that when you are purchasing Bellamy hair extensions, if you are ordering the shade Platinum Blonde, it doesn't matter which range you are ordering from, whether it be silk seam, whether it be in the regular lace weft, or any of the lengths, they are all going to be the same color. And this is very important when purchasing extensions because oftentimes when it is over-processed hair, what happens is that you can order, for example, say a 16-inch and a 24-inch set, and they might be 2 completely different blondes because they are different people's natural hair, and depending on how they've been processed, you could end up with 2 completely different colors, which makes it an absolute nightmare to try and tone them to match your existing hair color. So with Bellamy hair, you do not have to worry. The shades will all be the same color and they will tone the same. Now, if you are between shades of blonde, I always recommend going up. So the Platinum is the shade 80, whereas Ash Blonde is the shade 60. So the difference between those two is that the 80 is going to be lifted higher in comparison to the Ash Blonde 60. So what this means is if you have a brighter hair color, a brighter platinum, I would always go for the 80, the Platinum Blonde. If you do have an ashier blonde hair color, I would opt for the 60 because it just means that it's a little bit of a darker tone than the 80. And I say, because I've had both, I've owned both shades, I say that the ash blonde would mix better and blend better with someone who has highlights in comparison to someone who has a global root and is fully platinum blonde, one solid color. I do think though, if you are planning on toning them, if you want them to be brighter or if you want to add perhaps like a yellow undertone or a whiter undertone or whatever it may be, then the platinum, however, would be a better option for you if you do plan on toning it. And this is because when you tone an ash blonde hair extension, it will go a little bit darker. Sometimes this can be seen as murky, so you have to be extra careful. Whereas with the platinum blonde shade number 80, it is giving you that flexibility to brighten or darken. And this can be reversed as well. Say if I left these in the purple shampoo bath for too long, I could have easily washed them with clarifying shampoo and it would have came out and restored them back to that bright color. I do still have my Bellamy wrap ponytail 20 inches in the shade Ash Blonde. It is 100 grams and I am so obsessed with these ponytails. They allow you to do so much with your hair, and I recently have been doing a lot of bubble ponytails because they just fit so great. And I also have been doing messy buns like the Pamela Anderson bun. That is one of my favorite styles to do. The ponytail just adds a lot of volume to your existing ponytail. And as someone with fine hair, this is what I've always needed. So essentially when applying the ponytail, you can do it in two different ways. You can put your hair up into a ponytail and then simply wrap this around and it will Velcro, and then you'd go like this to secure it. And then you would pin it with a bobby pin. I personally recommend the blonde bobby pins if you are a very white shade, simply because then you won't see them, as opposed to if you were using a black bobby pin. So I ended up toning the ash blonde ponytail and I got it pretty close, I'd say, to the platinum. If you are looking to do this, you have to use a 20 developer. I like to use the Wella T14 toner, and you just need to watch it and make sure that it's not going too ashy or too gray. I once watched someone else's YouTube video about toning hair extensions, and they had said wait until it scares you, then rinse it out, because it will be the perfect color. So this does match pretty well. I've had this for a while too. I can honestly say that the quality hasn't diminished one bit after applying my hot tools, hair care, and everything else in between. I've worn this camping, I have worn this to music festivals, I have worn this just about everywhere. I think I actually wore it to Canada's Wonderland, which is an amusement park here. So these really do hold their value, and I think they are a great investment for your hair extension collection. So I recently got my hands on the Bellamy Deep Waver either last year or the year before, and this is also something that just changed my life, especially when styling my hair extensions. Do a quick little unboxing if it focuses. Comes in this extremely lush gold box. I love it. And it does have the beautiful gold wiring, the stunning black velvet case with the gold details. It was just wow when I opened it, you know what I mean? Here is the Deep Waver. It does come with the Velcro, which I absolutely appreciate when traveling because it keeps everything nice and compact. Again, the beautiful gold hardware here on the exterior of the waver. And you'll notice that this doesn't look like typical wavers. I really like this design simply because it just keeps the tool a little bit safer because it's not as exposed as the big barrel wavers, right? See how it's concealed because the heat is coming from the inside. So when I do my demonstration, you'll understand a little bit better what I mean. You're gonna wanna unlock it here at the bottom. It opens up and there is your deep waver. I also really like that Bellamy took a different design when creating this waver. It's not the typical waver that every other company has, and it really does offer a different style of wave, which you will see in a few minutes. So to turn it on, you just hit the power button here. I always turn the heat down to about 330, 340, because if you are someone who has very white platinum hair, this goes for your existing hair and your extensions. Sometimes if you use a hotter heat setting, what happens is that it burns the toner out of your extensions. So that can cause basically the entire extension or your existing hair to go completely yellow because there was too much heat applied, and it just sort of burns it out. It is a simple fix. You would just have to retone them or rewash them with a purple shampoo bath, but I don't enjoy washing my hair extensions for hours on end and making sure everything's dried, so I like to prevent that by happening by using a lower heat setting. These also heat up extremely fast, so it's been ready for probably 3 minutes now. I'm going to use this side of my head because when I show you guys the 6-in-1 curler, I need to be able to curl it on the other side. So taking one piece here, you want to ensure that it goes directly in like this. And you're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, and move down a bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and so on. You can also place your fingers here. They do have a little bit of a holding area. And look at this beautiful mermaid wave. I used to always do my waves with a straightener. This waver has definitely changed the game for me because look how beautiful and easy these waves are. It's so much gentler on the hands. If you're someone who has, I don't know, carpal tunnel or something, it does really ease the process of styling your hair. Here is a close-up of the waves. I'm gonna do my bangs too because they're shorter. I styled my hair like this for New Year's Eve, and a lot of people asked where I got the waver, and of course I always say Bellamy because Bellamy just gives me the best of the best. It is really hard for me to see right now, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm filming directly in my window. Sometimes the best lighting in the house isn't in the best position. There, so I hope that gives you a better idea of the deep waver. Beautiful mermaid waves and perfect for any occasion. They are also very long lasting, and I feel that's just because of the crimp that this gives. Like I said, it is a deep waver, so if you can see how far this barrel actually goes in, it's really crimping and putting the right type of pressure on your hair to make the waves last all day. I also want to point out that when the 18-inch extensions are waved, they do come up to about 16 inches, so keep that in mind when you are purchasing your first set or if you are looking to buy a new set. I always say that once you style the hair, if it's not straight, it is going to go at least 2 inches shorter. My safe bet is always recommending a 20-inch extension or 22-inch for that extra length. But if you're looking for something more natural, the 18-inch is definitely the way to go because they will crimp up or curl to about 16 inches. Okay, last but not least, the Bellamy 6-in-1 complete curler. My ex-boyfriend actually bought this for me for our anniversary. I think it was our 1 year, and I was literally crying because I was so happy. So this is all the pieces that it comes with, and you can see them here. This one is missing, as well as obviously the bigger piece because that's the one that I use the most. So it does come with the red handle, it does have the black details, comes with the 32mm, the 25mm, the 25mm with the 18mm bottom, the 19mm, the 18mm with the 9mm bottom, pearl wand, and the safety glove. So looking at these close up, this is the biggest one in comparison to the next size. Then there is the actual wand itself. This is the missing piece from the box, and in comparison to the size down from that one, here is the difference. And looking at the smallest wand, I actually brought this with me on set when I was filming a movie in the 60s or 70s, I can't remember, and they did extremely like tight little mini curls. It was actually super cute, and I feel, whoops, oh my god, I feel like it's just so nice to be able to have a tool that does everything instead of purchasing a bunch of singular wands and having to bring them all with you when traveling. Last but definitely not least, this is the pearl wand. I really like this one. It also kind of gives like a mermaidy vibe when doing your hair. It also comes with a little instruction packet and safety notes. And you're gonna want to wear this glove. I am not going to because I'm so hot right now, and I feel like this is just gonna add so much sweat, but it is a universal size, so one size fits all, and there is a lot of room on my little hands, so if you were worried about sizing, you should be good with that. Very easy to change the barrels on this 6-in-1. You just want to select whatever one you like. I'm going to start off with the 32mm, and you just lock it into place here on the side and plug it in and you're good to go. It does have adjustable heat settings. Like I said, I always use a lower heat. And for the purpose of this video, I am going to put some 24-inch pieces just so you can see the difference in length, and then get a better idea of the curl and how it looks on longer hair. I know that is actually one of my concerns with the Dyson and how it works on hair extensions. I don't want to take out too many on the other side just so you can see the difference. But they're very, very easy to remove. I just removed one of the wave parts. Shoot. Another thing that I really like about Bellamy clip-in hair extensions is that they do have different options when it comes not only to obviously the lengths and styles, but with the amount of clips they come with. I will have to write down the stats for the extensions because I can't remember on the top of my head, but some come with 5 pieces, other come with 7, some come with 10. And I really like that flexibility because it allows people with different hairstyles and different hair textures to pick what's right for them. And it just adds a lot of diversity into the hair extension community because the options are there. I am going to remove this bottom piece. I like to, I don't know if you can see, typically what I do when installing them is I throw my hair upside down, and I always put the 4-piece weft at the bottom because then it adds sort of like that bottom layer. You can do whatever you want. Some people do the braids and then put it on top so their natural hair doesn't come through, but for me personally, I just don't have the time to be braiding my hair into smaller sections, and I like doing it that way. So just to show you what I would do, I would put my hair like this and then clip it here upside down. And don't worry about the little bump because it just ends up adding more volume. Okay, I feel like I just took all of them out and that wasn't what I was going for. Okay, I accidentally took out too many pieces because they were overlapping more than I thought. But just to show you, this is my natural hair and this would be the extension. So now I'm gonna add some of the 24-inch just so you guys get a better idea of these curls. So as I was saying about the different extensions come with different numbers of pieces. The 24-inch set comes with 4 single wefts, whereas the 18-inch didn't come with any singles. So that is also something to note when you are shopping on the Bellamy website. You can see all these details under the description of the set. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to install a 3-piece and a 2-piece on top. Normally I would use a claw clip so that this doesn't happen, but But here we are. So there is the 3-piece weft, and I'm just gonna do two 2-piece wefts. If you guys are looking for more detailed tutorials, you can head over to my Instagram. I regularly do reels on how I apply my extensions and how I style them with different tools. Okay, so that was just like, wow, entering the 2000 bang phase. So that was just a rough installation, but look at how much volume that added to the one side of my head. And the length difference comes to here. Like I said, the 24s are above the hip bone on me at 5'3", and in comparison, the 26 would be to about here, 2 inches longer. And again, the comparison to the 18-inch. Without further ado, let's talk about the 6-in-1. So what I'm gonna do is one piece with each different barrel so you guys get an idea of what the curls look like. I wish someone did this for me because I literally had no idea when I first got this as a gift. So now I'm trying to help you the best that I can. And if you see here, the reason why my natural hair is peeking through, that is because I didn't put the piece on the bottom of my head upside down. That would be completely covered if I did do it that way. But here we are, so you just click the power button. And there it goes, already heating up. I have it set to 350 because most of the curl is going to be on the extension. So always make sure you are wearing your glove. The only reason why I'm not is because I classify myself as a trained professional because I've had this for so long and I know what I'm doing. So you always want to curl away from your hair, and maybe this wasn't my good side. Shoot. So here I am just wrapping it around the wand. And you're gonna wanna hold it for a few seconds. Another trick if you want long-lasting curls is to hairspray your hair beforehand, as well as your extensions. So the bigger barrel tends to produce a looser curl. This will drop a little bit throughout the day to get that more natural body wave. Next up, we have the 25mm, which is 25mm throughout the entire barrel. So again, just click it in and twist to lock it in place. This will give a similar style to the first curl, however it'll be a little bit smaller because it's a smaller barrel. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that when I took this to Cuba with me, I didn't even need an adapter. So always make sure that when you are using hot tools, you check the voltage and bring the necessary requirements if or when needed when you're traveling. And it does light up green and it does automatically shut off. So next I will go in with this piece. I want to make sure that I'm leaving enough pieces for every barrel. Get some of my natural hair in there as well. I like to wrap and sort of pull so that there's room on the entire barrel for all of my hair. These two are very similar, but the second one is a lot tighter of a curl. The 6-in-1 does lock in moisture and remove all static. That's always a bonus when adding some curls to my hair because it always has that silky high gloss finish. And on to the next barrel. As I mentioned earlier, this is my favorite barrel and the one I use the most often. This was actually the only one I have ever dropped, and I did get the smallest possible scratch because I did drop it on my mom's marble floor and it did chip the floor as well, so she wasn't too happy. So because the bottom is 25 and the top is 18, it will definitely shape the curl different because it'll be bigger at the top and swirl down into a tighter curl at the bottom. I personally really love this barrel because I find the curls last longer and they stay a lot tighter throughout the day, unlike the other two that, like I said, drop and give that natural body wave. So I have 3 left and I think I'm doing quite well with my sectioning here. This is good to go. Another trick that I find really helps with hair extensions is when you first purchase them, always wash them with a clarifying shampoo. Doesn't matter what shade you have, but particularly blonde, because then it removes any of the vitamin E oils, any silicones, and just any of the other processing methods that they used. And the trick to getting your extensions back to that nice glossy soft way that you first received them in is to use a blowout brush. I used the Revlon. Not a huge fan, to be honest, but it really does restore the extensions back to that natural state, which is great for when you are wearing them straight. So look at that tight curl. I will stand up so you can see. Separate this. So there's the 3 in order. As you can see, it definitely gives a tighter curl. This one is the 19mm through and through from tip to end. I also really like that with clip-in hair extensions, you can remove them at the end of the day. I know that when my hair gets to a certain length, I get so frustrated. It gets caught on me while I'm sleeping, or if I go to get up and my hair's stuck under me. So I really think that clip-ins are the best investment, just because it's not a full commitment and you can switch up the lengths, the styles. I personally keep all my extensions pre-styled. That's why I have so many sets. So I will have one set curled, one set waved, one set straight, etc., just so that it's so much easier in the morning to just style my hair and go. Okay, so this one is a lot smaller, as I think it's 1mm larger than the tip of the last barrel. So it will produce a much smaller curl. Really don't have to leave them on that long. Oh, look at that. Aww. All 4 curls so far. And again, you can see that the tighter the curl, the shorter the extensions go. And on to the next. Next up, we have the 18mm that goes right into a tiny little 9mm. This will produce that very small tight curl. The smaller the section you use, the smaller and tighter the curl will be. So I did a medium piece. Look at that. Oh my god, these are my favorite. You can see that all the curls are lasting even without hairspray. Last but definitely not least, the pearl wand. There are a lot of different techniques you can use, but for this video I'm just going to do the basic so you can see what type of curl it produces. The trick with the pearl wand is that you want to avoid this section right here and solely focus it onto the little balls. It's kind of hard at first, but then when you turn it like this, there we go. This one's meant to be like a little wonky. Natural hair better not mess this piece up. Little piece is just sticking up. There. This one, the pearl wand, is definitely in between these two, I believe. These 2 barrels. And it's a little bit more wonky, a little bit of a different pattern, but I think it's very unique in comparison to the other curls. You can always play around with them, brush them through, and that'll of course give different results. I really like the pearl wand though because it's very circular and bouncy. Like it's more round and also a mix of like a crimp. You look at it from the different angles, and that's what differentiates it from the other styles. Do you guys prefer the different types of curls, or do you like the natural mermaid waves? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. My discount code is Chelsea Gold, and I'll be linking all the products I used down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you have any more questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Chelsea Gold, and I'll reply there. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.